All right, guys, here's 7 insights that I have learned over the last 2 years selling for Charlie Morgan in the high ticket space. 7 things that I have learned talking to thousands of young entrepreneurs, old entrepreneurs, agency owners, coaches, people that watch videos just like this, just like you, just like me. These are 7 things that I have learned that are going to be game changing so that you don't end up the person who just watches the videos for the rest of their lives and doesn't make a change. Now, for anyone who doesn't know me, I sold for Charlie Morgan for Easy Growth for 2 years. I was one of his longest serving closers, one of the top closers he ever had. And I learned a lot there, but the most valuable thing I got to see was the conversations I had with people who were in the beginning, who were struggling, or even kind of further down the line, and what happens once they get into the program. So the first thing is motivation versus discipline. Okay, I can't tell you how many times I was on a sales call with someone and they'd watched a video from Charlie, or they'd been on YouTube and they, have the basic goals. They want to get to 10K a month, 50K a month. They want to retire their parents. They want to have financial freedom, have time freedom, and they want it in their bones. They're telling me, Louis, I need this. I want this. It would feel amazing. I've never wanted anything more in my life. They invest the money, whether it's a full pay or a payment plan, typically the last money that they have ready to spend to change their future and change their life. And they get into the course, and six weeks, 8 weeks later, I look at their profile and they've been inactive for 5 days, 10 days, 2 weeks. And this is the difference. Motivation, and I know you've heard this a million times, motivation will only get you so far. And I have seen it countless times where you want something so bad and then you actually get the thing or the vehicle to take you where you want to go, and you do not have the discipline to just do the things you need to do to actually realize those motivations and those dreams. So either you're a liar and you don't actually want that stuff and you've been coerced by the internet to make yourself believe that you really do, or you're a coward, right? You don't have the discipline and you don't have the strength and the ability to do it. Do you want to be a liar or a coward? I mean, probably not. But really look at yourself, because if you're watching this video right now, and I bought the course and I struggle with the discipline part as well. I bought the course, told them I wanted to change my life, never wanted to go home. And then I just struggled to do 100 cold calls a day. I'm not trying to make you feel bad about yourself, but this is the reality of a lot of people. And this is something that you should be very, very careful of. You've got the dreams and the motivations, but unless you actually put the steps into action, you're never going to get anywhere. Lesson number 2 is everybody wants more. You aren't special, and not everybody wins. 95% of the world has to settle. For you to win, someone else has to settle. And everyone wants more. Like, you can probably figure this out just from general conversations you have with people, but the sales call, the discovery part of a sales call, if you do it well, which I like to think I did, you can really get a lot of personal and deep motivations out of people and why they want to do this thing. And every single person has these things ready. They all have a specific thing or a reason why they want to get there. Some are deeper than others, but just basic capitalism, basic normal distribution tells us that there has to be winners and there has to be losers, and most of you are going to have to settle. Literally majority of the world has settled into something that isn't fulfilling their ultimate dreams and desires. And again, I have seen this in real time examples and get real time feedback. Again, going back to the first lesson where people come in and a very, very small portion of those people crush it out of the park. They're never going to have to settle and they change their lives. But most of the people I've been speaking to and sell into the program, I made my commission and they're going to have to go and settle in some other job that they don't really love just to live a normal human life. So be prepared. There is a really good chance that you're going to have to settle because someone else is going to beat you. Now, the best thing about that is that you have control over that. You can control if you're the one who's going to win or the one who's going to lose. But there's always going to be one of each. And it just comes back to just putting the actionable steps in place to be the one who wins. Don't just have the motivation. Do the actions required and just do it for longer than you ever expected. And eventually you will achieve what you want to. Now, this actually brings me nicely to the third lesson, which is don't start because you think you should. I just want to repeat that. Don't start because you think you should. I think a really big problem and why a lot of people get stuck at these first 2 points of like the actual discipline and, like being the ones who actually are going to have to settle in the long run is because now you're constantly getting YouTube videos from Charlie, from E-Man, from Hamosi, from people like me. I don't know, we might be the problem. I might be the fucking problem. I don't know. But it is a problem. Like people are getting on these calls and they're just regurgitating answers that they see on the internet. And a lot of people they're like, oh, you've probably heard this a lot, but I just want financial freedom. It's like, what the fuck? Are you doing this because someone has told you that your life is worthless unless you do this? Or are you doing this because you actually want it? Now, if you don't actually want it and you do it just because you think you should and you fail because you don't have the discipline to succeed and do the things you need to do, you will fail and you will just reconfirm that you are a failure and the rest of your life will be impacted by that. Now, I know that sounds like a really, really big statement, but I'm a really strong believer, like the things that you do earlier in your life really do kind of shape who you are as you get older. And it is a lot harder to change the older you get. So if you go all in on a business because you've watched E-Man's videos or Charlie's videos and you think this is the life that you want and you don't get it, you're just going to reconfirm to yourself that you're a loser and everything after that is going to snowball. You're going to settle for a worse job. You're not going to work hard in that job and you're going to end up in a life that you hate. Now, another side of this is maybe even someone like me. I want to make a video on this later, but really I kind of started the online space because I thought that's what I should do because I couldn't actually do the thing I really wanted to do. Now, the thing I really want to do, wish I could have done is in the sporting world, but I didn't have the right genetics and I wasn't good enough for that, but that's okay. But I wanted a certain type of lifestyle. So I kind of started this SMMA thing because I thought it's what I should do. And I got into the weeds and kind of realized it wasn't what I liked and I didn't love it. But fortunately enough, I do have a level of, I don't even think it's not even maybe a good thing. It's discipline, but it's more once I start something, I just refuse to give it up. And that can definitely be a hindrance to growth in general. But if you're someone who thinks you should start an agency and you get to 20K a month and you started it because you thought you should have, but now you have the money, but the money isn't going to make you happy. I'm telling you right now, the money will not make you happy. Now, I know everybody says that, but got a very small following. I was making 3K a month when I first started at Easy Grow, and I did 17K as my best commission. Nothing has changed in my life. Literally nothing. So it's not just about the money. And if you get there to a point where you thought you were supposed to get to based on all the other YouTubers and things you've seen on the internet, you're going to be just as unhappy as when you started. So don't let other people influence where you should be. Do a little bit of introspection. Do a little bit of thinking. Because if you start something, it's the classic example of the professional athlete or that kid we all played with, when we were younger in sport, and he was the best, and his dad pushed him as hard as he fucking could, and the kid starts to resent the thing because he's doing it because he has to, not because he wants to. He burns out and he never makes it, and we all say, oh, what a waste of potential. But it's is it a waste of potential or is it a wasted opportunity to grow that potential? So just don't blindly listen to every single person that talks on YouTube. myself included. Like if I say something and you think it sounds good on the face of it, I mean, like, yeah, it all sounds great, but like really think about like the reality and the intangible things that surround the words that gurus and influencers are trying to tell you. That's super important. Now, cool. So that's kind of like the 3 lessons around like, should I start, blah, 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 blah. This next lesson number 4 is more about like when you actually start something. So let's say you've committed, you've got your motivations, you're all dialed in, and you start something. I don't have a better word for it, but I think it's stress kills success. You could say anxiety, you could say doubt, but these like accumulation of kind of similar feelings will kill your success. Now, here's a really interesting story. So when I was at Easy Grow, I closed this guy, can't remember his name, for a $2,400 payment plan, I'm pretty sure. And it was literally, he had $2,450 in his bank account. And what did we do? We went through, he'd been watching all the guys, he'd been doing it, blah, 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 blah. I want this, I'm just about to get married. He was young. I want to set up for my future family. I was like, perfect. This guy gets it. He's not just listening to everyone. He's going to do well. It was an hour-and-a-half call, closed him on the 2,400. I could feel he was a little bit nervous and a little bit skittish, but that's okay. That's to be expected. Went through my reframes, closed him on literally the last money that he had. He told me he'd be able to survive a month, and I told him exactly what he needed to do to get results. I'm not super proud of this, but I got him to sign the contract on the call. I walked him through it just to make sure that the sale was squared away because I wanted my commission, right? But I actually genuinely felt like if I could just get him into the program, he would do well because he was very clear in what he wanted and he was very serious about, making a change. Gets into the program, signs the contract, gets in, don't hear anything for a few days. Then I get a message on school being like a paragraph, losing his mind, stressed out of his mind. I need a refund. This isn't going to be blah, 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 blah. Now, the lesson here is if you make a decision, stick to the decision. Now, let me explain. So he made the decision, he signed the contract and he came into the program. And I get on a call with him after he sends me this paragraph and I re-close him into the program. Again, I'm not super proud of this, but I'm good. I was good at my job. And it's my livelihood. It's my living. And I held him accountable to what he told me on the first call. Because I still believed in this moment, this guy's just kind of getting cold feet. He still wants it. Because I asked him, I was like, do you still want the things you told me a few days ago? He's like, yes. I'm like, do you still believe that we're the place for you to get it? He was like, yes. We're on the phone for another hour. He's like, okay, fine. Let me just stay in. He's like, just cancel it after a month. And I was like, what? I was like, dude, I thought I got you to the right spot. And he's like, honestly, man, I'm not going to touch the program. I'm just going to write this off as a bad decision. And just please cancel my subscription. And I was just baffled, absolutely baffled by what he just said. So he invested the money, he wants the thing, he invested the money, he did his research, he got the thing, and then he gets all these feelings and emotions, and his response is, I'm just gonna forget about the investment and not do anything and forget this ever happened and settle. That is insane. And I cannot tell you how many times I've seen posts of people being like, hey guys, haven't been active in the community for a while. I spent all my money on this. It's been really bad the last few months, but this is me reintroducing myself. If you make a fucking decision as a man, as a woman, as a respecting person, stick to your decision. At least try. And I just it just really makes me think why do people have these problems? Why is this happening? There has to be a way that we can help people through this. And I think what it is sharing stories like this and being this is a genuine reality of buying a course. I don't care what you buy. If you're going to buy a high ticket course, more power to you. I still believe that high ticket courses are really, really valuable and they do get people good results. But if you do it and then you freak out, nobody wins. So you must be absolutely prepared for the reality of your decision. Don't just get on a call and let some sales guy like me close the fuck out of you in an hour and then do a full 360. Do a bit of research. Do a bit of journaling. Really think about all the worst case scenarios, but also think about all the best case scenarios. Just put yourself in the best position to succeed. Because if you don't, you're going to absolutely lose your mind and really, really struggle. I thought I put myself in the best position to succeed, and we all know how that went. If you look back at my old YouTube videos, I was freaking out. But I was prepared to be freaked out for as long as it took. I never quit, I never stopped, I was still doing all the work. I just had to fucking cry myself to sleep every other night because I was so stressed and get acne. But it paid off in the end. So just be prepared, okay? Now, this ties into lesson number 5. It is way harder than you think. Most of the time. Now, I feel like as I'm speaking, this video is almost too negative. I am not trying to scare anyone. I'm not trying to scare anyone or make anyone not want to do something or feel like they shouldn't start an agency. If you are a young person watching this video and you want to start an online business, please do that. Please buy programs. Just take risks 100%. But these are just some insights to maybe help you be a little bit more prepared for what's actually coming. You learn from someone who's been through it so that you can do better than I did and be further than I am right now. That's really all I would love for that to happen for someone. But really, it's going to be harder than you think. Starting the agency by yourself is going to be harder than you think. Buying the course is going to be harder than you expect. Getting an agency to help you scale is going to be harder than you think. Hiring people is going to be harder than you think. So just accept the fact that it's going to be really hard. And then if it's easy, great, pleasant surprise. But if it's 10 times harder than you expect, so be it. Expect it to be really difficult. They always say prepare for the worst, hope for the best. It's pretty good advice. But you're not just going to buy a course. You're not just going to start an agency and do 10 cold calls and assign 5 clients. You're not just going to buy a course and have this magic secret that changes your entire life. It doesn't exist. Really, the reality of the situation is all the information is out there. It's cold call businesses, ask what their problem is, build a solution to solve that problem, and then close the deal. It's always going to be that simple, even simpler. Make something, sell it to someone. Fundamentally, it's always going to be that simple, but the effort required to execute it at the level that a lot of us probably feel like we want to and where we want to get to in our lives, it's going to be way harder than you expect. It's probably going to take way longer. I have people on sales calls that never ever run a business straight out of high school or university. So, all right, where do you want to get to? My question is, where do you want to get to? They're I want to get to 50K in 6 months with $1,000 a month retainer for SMMA. It's and obviously I'm never say this on a sales call because I don't want to lose the deal being this is impossible. It's not impossible, but let's break that down. That's 51K clients monthly. You've never run ads before. You've never done sales calls. You've never done outreach. And you think in 6 months you're going to be at 60K. What the fuck? I love the goal, 50K, awesome. Let's just not put a time frame on it. And let's just say it's going to be a lot harder than we think it is. And if we get there in 6 months, amazing. There's this kid, Levi, on YouTube. I love him. I watched him. We both started our agencies at the same time. This is 2.5 years ago now. He's doing 40K a month. And he was I want to be at 10K in the next 3 months in his first few videos. And he didn't get to 10K for the first year and a half. And now he's at 40. That is the reality. Go watch that guy. He's great. This is what it actually takes. And this is what I've seen literally over 2,000 times. I have done 2,000 sales calls. There's 2,000 individual people who are looking to start online businesses. And this is not exclusive to 18 to 25-year-olds. I'm talking 30-year-olds, 40-year-olds, 50-year-olds. Like, 45-year-old guy would come to me and be like, I've worked corporate for 10 years and blah, 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 started a business. He's like, I thought I'd be at 50K by now. I was like, how long have you been doing this? Like 3 months. I'm like, where are you at? He's like, 0. Like, how does that make you feel? He's like, I don't think it's possible. It's like, no, it's obviously possible. You just like set yourself a ridiculous time frame and you let your ego get in the way. I think that's really the thing. It's like, don't let your ego dictate your goal or your outcome. Like, be humble, you know, like appreciate the people who have come before you and how hard it has been for them. And don't just look at their successes. Don't just look at Eman's most recent 10 videos. Scroll all the way back down to his first one. Scroll all the way back down to my first one. And that's where you are, and that's where you have to get through. Okay? So, lesson number 6. No one is coming to save you. Not me, not Eman, not Charlie, not Hormozi. No one is coming to save you. Not your mum, not your dad, not your girlfriend. Eventually, whether it's now or when your parents and family, which they inevitably will, pass away, and unless they leave you big hunk of money, like, you're kind of on your own. If you want to be an entrepreneur, I mean, I don't know, corporate might be different. I don't know. In my experience, is like no one is coming to save you. And I'm speaking from a place of like, I've got a family who will send me money if I need it. I could go home to our second apartment. Like, I'm in such a privileged position. It's ridiculous. Like, it's so stupid. Like, that I do have someone coming to save me. But if they came to save me, I would be fucked. Like, I would be depressed and I would not be where I wanted to be. So if you want to get where you want to go, you have to create your own path, and you have to be your own hero, your own savior, like all of that kind of fucking lame shit that influencers spout all day, every day. It is true. Like, people, even the most corny influencers, like, are kind of right. You know, think of the most corny person you've ever thought of on YouTube, like, even Andy Elliott, like, I kind of like him, but he's so corny. But like, at the core of his message is like, it's kind of true. Like, you don't have to be all bravado about it and like wear the tight pants and just be like a fucking dickhead to everyone about it and tell people that they're failures if they don't do it. Because for him to get where he is, a lot of people had to settle. You know, so don't shit on the people that settled so that you could be successful. But, you know, no one is going to come and save you. And I think that's like what a lot of people take from guys like that. Like Goggins, for example. It's like, really, truly, completely, if you, like, people that buy Easy Grow, you get the feeling that they buy it with like this idea, like, oh my God, Charlie's going to save my business. My life's going to be changed. It's like, no, that is not what's going to happen. If you think like that, you're going to not do well in this program. Charlie doesn't even take coaching calls in the program anymore. Like, you know, like, no one is coming and doing one-on-one, like sitting with you at the library or like at your house and like building your agency with you. Like, you have to do it by yourself, and you can't expect anyone to do anything for you, and you can't expect anyone to save you. Like, if you're watching this and you're 6 months into your agency journey, like I was, and you're kind of a failure, like I was, and you move countries like I did, and you're like, holy fuck, I need this to work like now, and you've been watching Charlie for a while and you buy his course thinking it's going to save your entire life, and you get into the course and you realize, oh, okay, it's actually just a better version of what I was already doing, but I still have to do it. Yeah, good luck. Like, I got really lucky, guys. Like, let's not get it twisted. Like, I'm sure I would have figured it out and I would have got there eventually, but probably it would have taken me a lot longer than now the success I've had because I got that opportunity. So there's a lot of luck involved, and I guess in a way Charlie did come and save me. I might be the only exception, but in reality, no one's coming to save you, no one's helping you. But when I got into closing, like, I was off the calendars in 3 months and I had to claw my way back on, and the only person that was able to do that was me. Like, I would call my mum, and I talk about her a lot, like just because I didn't really have anyone else to talk to. So she's my support system. Like now it's my girlfriend, but like I can't call my mum and be like, can you do 100 cold calls for me? It's like, obviously not. Do the cold calls. Which kind of brings me to the final point, the final insight, and the final lesson is gurus aren't always what you expect. I had this written out as gurus lie. That's not entirely true. They don't always lie, but they're not what you expect. Here's the story. So, as we all know, I was a Charlie fan. I bought his program. I got the job. For like a year previously, I watched him on YouTube, and like, it sounds so lame, but it is true. You kind of like idealize these people. They're like gods. Like, oh my God, like these guys are amazing. I want to be just like them. Like, how can I be these people? I'm going to dress like them, act like them, whatever, think like them. Really, all we do, a lot of us, myself included, and probably everyone who's watching this, is like, do we even think for ourselves anymore? Or do we just think the way that the people we watch on YouTube think? I have a 100% recited stuff that Hormozi says on this channel. It's like, fuck, like I need to get like some of my own thoughts again and not just like copy everyone else. And the reason why I say that is because like, all right, I get the job. We go to the London team meet within the first 3 months of me being in the company. Yeah, I'd seen Charlie on Zoom. We did some Zoom stuff, whatever, like team meetings. But, you know, it's a pretty decentralized company. Like I'm not like interacting with Charlie every single day like that personally. We get to London, first team dinner. He walks in and I'm like, holy fuck. And this is so lame, but I was like, it's real. Like this is Charlie Morgan. Like this is the guy. This is who I want to be. Now I'm sitting at the same table, eating a nice steak. Like, be careful, like listen to everything he says is, oh my God, it's amazing. And then like, so, you know, this is so funny. I'm a good hang, right? Typically, I'm pretty funny to hang out with. So we became friends, right? Became friends with Bo. Life is good. They kind of start to like me. I'm not just the employee anymore. I'm kind of a friend. So then the next day, they kind of invite me back to the Airbnb. It's just the three of us. We're sitting around talking shit. Charlie's in a towel, getting a shower. And I'm just sitting there. I'm like, is this it? And I love Charlie. I love Bo. I love those guys that worked out. They have been some of my closest friends for 2 years. I've lived with them for a month. Like, we're friends. But in that very first moment, I was like, not like, is this it? Like disappointed, but like, it's like, oh, okay. It's just a guy. It's just my friend. It's just Charlie. You know, like within the first 3 days, I'm calling him fucking, you know, dumb and gay. Like, it's just these gurus, like, they're never what you expect. So don't let them dictate your life. You're probably going to be disappointed if you meet them. So you don't have to listen to them. Like, forge your own path. I think this final point kind of like encapsulates all of it. The gurus are just like you. They all started where you are. They're no different from any of us. Yeah, they have nice haircuts, they have nice watches, nice cars, whatever, but like deep down, it's like, they're just the same. So all you have to do is just like, be yourself. And that's probably the one thing that all of these guys do very, very well, is they like actually just be themselves. You know, they introspect, they understand, and then they push through the pain. You can do that too. You're gonna be disappointed if you ever meet them. Their course is probably gonna disappoint you. And you don't have to listen to every single word that they say. You can actually start to formulate your own plan, your own path, and like, trust yourself. Trust yourself to be like them in the future if you actually follow these other steps. Figure out the motivations that you want. Actually make sure you believe in them. Do the things you need to do to make them come to life. And don't get influenced by all these people on the internet, like pumping dreams into your brain about like what you should be doing. Do what you want. And then that's kind of it. You know, that is 7 very powerful lessons that I've learned from speaking with 2,000 new and struggling business owners. And I think like just because I know this now and I've seen it, it puts me in just an incredible position moving forward to, you know, have my own success, which means so much, which my own success means something completely different to what it did 2 years ago. Like, it is insane how different I see everything now that I've actually thought about it and almost become jaded by what others want. So yeah, I mean, I hope that gives you guys some insights and just makes you like a little bit more prepared for whatever decision that you're gonna make. But let me just end with this. You can literally do whatever you want. Like, seriously. You just have to do it. It's as simple as that. You can do whatever you want. You just have to do it. So, yeah. I'll see you on the next one.